Largest crowd we have had at a Board of Selectmen meeting in months and months and months. And so I guess that's a good thing. Yeah. Since we do have a lot of new faces in the room, in the event of an emergency, stairway right there behind the photographer leads up to the rear parking lot. Down the hallway leads to the parking lot by the fire department, and up the front stairs behind the wall with the clock on it will lead you out to the front of the building through the double doors. If I could ask those that wish, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll start with introductions. We'll start on my left tonight.
Good evening, Mitch Goldblatt.
Good evening, Judy Williams.
Good evening, Ralph Oakenquist.
Vincent Moreno, Town Attorney.
Good evening, John Carangelo.
Okay. We are short one member at this moment because Connor Dean, who was elected in November to fill a seat on the Board of Selectmen, has chosen to no longer serve, and he resigned, which I think most of the people in this room are abundantly aware of, which is why I guess you're all here. So thank you all for that. Public participation. Public participation is for any item that is not an agenda item, and we allow the speaker up to 2 minutes on that item. Is there anybody here for any public participation items? Seeing none, very good. Announcements. Just a couple brief things. Does anybody at the table have an announcement before I go? Yes, Mitchell.
Just a reminder, Saturday, April 2nd, the Orange Recycling Committee is sponsoring the Shredding Day, Mattress Recycling, and Hazardous Waste Disposal Day, all at the same time, 9 to noon at High Plains Community Center. We're having a meeting later this week to set up the logistics for the hazardous waste disposal, to make sure that runs as smoothly as possible for the first time ever in the town of Orange that I'm aware of. People should pre-register to bring items to the hazardous waste disposal, saving them the need to go to Sergeant Drive, which is open every Saturday, but we're going to do it here in Orange and hopefully get a lot there. And then we're going to have the Rotary Club is sponsoring the shredding event. We ask that people, when they bring their items for shredding, if they would kindly make a contribution to the Rotary Club Scholarship Fund. And the Lions Club is helping us out with the mattress recycling. For those that want to bring their own mattress that needs to be recycled, please bring it that morning as well. For those that have trouble bringing the mattress and like it picked up, you can make arrangements with the Lions Club through Ken Lenz, 203-795-3906. Give them a call and make the arrangements. $10 a mattress or a box spring. And we hope to have great participation and hopefully great weather. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, very good. All right, one item is February 21st. All town offices will be closed because of President's Day. However, Mitch's favorite place in town, the transfer station, shall remain open on that day. One more thing that's not on my announcements, because it's a very hot topic this week. They're running out on time with the mask mandate is winding down. I received multiple phone calls today and emails, and I respond to them all the same way. We're waiting to see what the governor and or the legislature decide for final rules and who has the final authority, whether it's just the Board of Education. Last night, Governor Lamont on TV did say the mayors and first selectmen also may have input in that. So we will wait and see on that. I know there's a lot of anxious parents and grandparents out there that have contacted us on that. My personal opinion is I believe in free choice on this. It's a family's choice at this point, not the governor or anybody else's rule to set the law. According to Governor Lamont's report this afternoon that came to my office a little after 3, the total percentage infection rate in the state is down to 5.16%. So being right after Christmas and New Year's, we were up over 25%. That's a pretty fast drop in about 6 weeks or less. So it's all going in the right direction, and we will solve this, yes, we will solve this as it moves along, but the Board of Education will be making a decision on this. With that said, we're going to move on to minutes.
Motion approved.
Okay, very good. All in favor?
Aye.
Then we'll move on to new business. The first item under new business tonight is to consider and act on the appointment of P.J. Shanley to the Board of Selectmen to fill the vacancy, and his term shall run till November 17th, 2023, so he will be sitting at this table for 22 months. So don't think that, tell Whitney now, second Wednesday of every month, just so you know. But I received interest from several people to fill Connor's spot, and I received over 30 comments from people, emails, phone calls, stopping me at the store, that kept coming up, P.J. Shanley, P.J. Shanley. By far, head and shoulders above any of the others. And just because you get a lot of people that think he's a great guy, you then still have to look into all the candidates. And once I thought about it, and all the time P.J. has given on the Board of Finance and many other things that he's been involved with, and has been raised here, he and his wife chose to stay here, raise their family here, has bought into the community. I really couldn't think of a better person to fill this vacancy, and I was very proud to. I was really very proud when I spoke to him and said, would you want to consider this? And he was quite stunned. I said, well, talk to your wife and let me know. So I talked to him later, and I said, well, when you talk to your wife tonight, then let me know tomorrow. I already did that, he goes, we're all set. And so it's up to the first selectman to put forward the appointment, but in the case of filling a vacancy on the Board of Selectmen or the Boards of Education, the entire Board of Selectmen have to vote on it to ratify it. So I put that appointment out there, and is there a motion to be made on this appointment? Mitchell?
I would be honored to make that motion that we appoint P.J. Shanley to the Board of Selectmen to fill the vacancy that has occurred. And while I make that motion, I also want to say that I've known P.J. and his family for many years, decades, and very, very proud of him, and I think he'll make a wonderful addition to this board. He's going to serve this town very well in his other capacities, especially on the Board of Finance for several years. Jim, I thank you for making that appointment, and I will make that motion.
Second.
Okay. Is there any other commentary on this appointment before we take a vote on it? What do
Yeah,
you-
just briefly, if I may.
Sure.
So like you, Mitch, I've known PJ for a long time. Unfortunately, playing on a softball team that did not bode too well in this town. But we had a lot of fun. When you think about people who love this town, or what we call lifers, he's a perfect individual for it. You're a friend. I look forward to serving with you. I think the residents are going to be happy with your tenure, and I certainly, without reservation, am happy to second this nomination on your behalf.
Okay. Yes, Ralph?
I would just like to say that of all the candidates that Jim had, and I don't know who all the people were, and I don't know of anybody in Orange that deserves this more than PJ does. He's a hard worker. I've known him, I don't want to say how long.
You had color in your hair.
It was brown back then. I've known PJ since Little League and Cub Scouts and so on. And he's a great friend. The family's a great friend of ours. And I'm really happy to see him. I mentioned to Jim that I thought he would be a good candidate before I knew Jim was going to pick him. And I'm really happy he's going to be joining us. Thank you, PJ.
Not to be left out, I totally am so excited about having you join us. There is something to be said about lifers, about people who are really part of this town, who love the town, who want the town to be a great place, who dedicate hours of volunteering, which is huge. We all sit at this table, and someone asked me, they said, well, what kind of stipend do you get? I don't think we get one, but we get the joy of knowing. Well, oh, sorry. You didn't tell him? Oh. So anyway, PJ, we'll all chip in later and see what we can do. But really, welcome. Whoops, I should not jump in. I'm sure we're all going to vote for him, right? Yeah. Okay. I'm so glad to have you join us. Really am.
You got a second?
And thank you, all of you, before it bursts into noise and nobody can hear, which I know. Thank you all for coming here. We kind of put out a little whisper campaign, and, it was kind of funny when I talked to Donna last week. She said, well, can I call a couple people? Yes, but you have to tell them not to say a word where it might get back to him. And so then we had this little thing. I was texting Aaron to find out a few things, and I asked, and I said, well, Ann will send you the link so that you can watch it, up there, up north. And she's like, Jim, I'm coming down. I'm going to be here for this. So, it was really a thrill.
Awesome.
So with all that said, all in favor of PJ Shanley to fill the vacancy on the Orange Board of Selectmen?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Unanimous? I'd like to ask PJ to come up and say a few words. Yep, up here. Yep.
So I'm going to be very brief. This is very.
Welcome to the board.
Is it not on? I want to thank all my family and friends that showed up tonight and surprised me. I'm a little red. I'm probably going to be red for a couple weeks because of this, but it's greatly appreciated. I love you guys very much. Thank you. I'm going to start by thanking Jim Scioli. Thank you for this appointment. It's an honor, plain and simple. To my fellow members on the board, thank you for the kind words. I know all of you very well, and I very much look forward to working with you.
Catch your breath.
Yeah. I know the past 4 or 5 months have been difficult for both of us, and I can say that I know my dad's
He's
very proud. So, thank you very much.
Now, what you thought and what is.
Okay.
See, you think that maybe I'm going to do this, but no, I'm not. I'd like to call up Judge Ben Gettinger, your cousin,
Okay.
to swear you in. And get that way.
Okay.
And it's very brief, Ben. I would say,
Where would you like?
I'm sure there's photo ops, so you got to watch that as well.
PJ, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge according to law your duties as a member of the Board of Selectmen for the town of Orange to the best of your ability, so help you God?
Thank you.
Any photo ops? Now's your moment, family. Wait a minute, she's standing up over here. We might have another one. Do it now.
Mr. Shannon, do you want to?
We got one before.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
All right, Aaron, get up here.
That's what I suggested, yeah. Jim, do you want to do an award picture of us now? Because
After, I think they're gonna do it. We're not done yet.
Good time I didn't wear a jacket.
Whitney and the girls.
I'll sit behind Ralph.
put you in the back.
Got a tie on.
There we go. Very nice. Fantastic.
Stay for the rest of the meeting.
Everybody ready for an exciting meeting?
Yep. Yeah, now you can go home.
So now the rest of you can go to the post road. And if, Mr. Quirker, if you could just deliver the message down there that Mr. Shanley will be down later to settle it up.
All right, the rules are we get his candy the first time. That's how it works.
You have to guard those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you very much, and you are welcome to stay or you are welcome to depart, whichever is your pleasure.
No offense.
Thank you for making me part of it. That was special.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you. You guys are great.
So glad to have you.
Yeah. Oh, well, how are you? Knock on wood. I heard.
Easy, thank God. You know?
Yeah, I heard you were doing the walkabout.
April 5th.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Going to Australia.
Worked out good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I gotta get it. I have to wait for the visa. I just so excited.
I was.
Okay. That's why I knew we were going to have to take a break. And I thought about doing, I told you, like cupcakes or something. I said, you know what? They'll never leave if we do that.
You feel like you're seeing the movie. But you can also take tours around the country, around the world. I've been to Australia.
Okay.
And it's gorgeous and it feels so real.
Hold on, buddy.
Give this committee a sign. Just outside Sydney.
Another one who's not available most of the time.
Maybe a year and a month.
Well, that was good. You had a nice crowd. Yeah. That was actually better than the gymnasium at High Plains.
Yeah, true.
Very nice.
It really was.
You're lucky too. We were over the limit. People.
Did you count? I didn't count.
Yes, I did.
When we get to a town meeting for crying out loud. True, definitely.
Okay. Okay. I thought that might take 10 minutes, but 20 is not bad. You got a room full of Irishmen together. They can't help it. They can't help it.
A lot of Italians, Montana.
There were a few in there too, yeah. Item number 2 under new business. This is just an update at this point. For those at home that are unaware, of the bicentennial that is coming for the town of Orange. Chairman Patrick O'Sullivan for the bicentennial.
Thank you. Before I begin, I'm going to give PJ his book.
Oh, PJ.
And it's up to date. You better keep it that way.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Virtual.
Yes, good luck.
Is this all the town secret?
Yep. Check out page 20.
Don't open it. Looks like it's never been opened. Don't open it.
Yeah. Use it for a doorstop.
And again, congratulations. I just like to point out that 49 years ago, I served on the Board of Selectmen. It was before freedom of information. The fastest meeting we had, which was in Ralph's office, there's none of this, was 18 minutes.
I could beat that.
Not tonight.
Yeah.
No.
I just want to give you an update on the bicentennial celebration and the bicentennial committee. The bicentennial committee consists of about 25 people that Jim appointed. It's a great group. They're very energetic volunteers. We've had a number of meetings. We've done a lot of brainstorming and a lot of developing an action plan. I think at our first meeting, we recognized that in today's day and age, we just can't replicate or duplicate what took place for the sesquicentennial. That was over a period of 1 week, and in today's day and age, with the way the family structure is and people having many balls in the air, it just is virtually impossible. And in our thought process, we were also faced with the fact of COVID. For 2 years, COVID changed our lives. Zoom meetings, remote learning, no gatherings, masks, social distancing, executive orders. Last year, COVID mutated, and once again, we were all worried and agonizing over what we were going to do. At the first meeting, with the brainstorming of the committee, we came up with the idea of the 200th anniversary celebration throughout the entire summer. So it's called the Summer of Celebration. We decided to mirror and join the events and efforts of all of the other town functions, which I'll go over with you in a bit. We've developed a calendar of events. We contacted a local artist, Michael Ulrich, who has won international awards, and he developed this logo. Through the efforts of Mitch Goldblatt, there'll be all sorts of commemorative items, posters, flags, and other things. And I just want to thank the committee members. We've come up with the idea of having team leaders for all the events. And I'm sure all of the team leaders are still looking for volunteers. If you look at the calendar, and we start off with May. And actually, Judy Wright Williams has already started with historic interviews, so that the historic interviews are going on right now. She's interviewing people who have been in town for many, many years and just getting a slant on what life was like over the years. May 28th is the actual 200th anniversary, and we're starting the celebration with a Founding Day, which will take place at the gazebo. On June 2nd, there's going to be a luncheon at the Bryan Andrew House. On June 5th, there'll be a flower show with the Garden Club. On June 7th, there'll be another luncheon at the Bryan Andrew House. The Lions are going to have a wine tasting on June 10th, and we're developing wine glasses with the bicentennial celebration on it. The Orange Congregational Church is having their Strawberry Festival at the Fairgrounds. On the 18th, Lynn Plaskowitz came up with an idea where there's a group that does something called a mud run. It's a fun event for families to participate. June 25th is our parade. and our family dinner. What we've found out because of COVID is how difficult it is to generate a parade. No bands are practicing because of remote learning. So we've looked at the local schools for bands. We've looked at the regional schools for bands. We've gone outside a 10-mile radius. We're going out a 25-mile radius. And today I talked to somebody, and we're going out maybe 60 miles to find a band for the parade. So it might be just as similar like the tractor parade back in December, but it's going to be a celebration.
I
Yes, sir.
just want to interrupt you right there.
Yes.
We have a new member on the board that might have a connection to the Knights of St. Patrick
Yes.
band.
I was going to talk to him about that later.
That's an easy one.
We're going to have a picnic at the fairgrounds right after the parade. The parade's going to start around 2 o'clock. It'll take an hour and a half to 2 hours. We'll break. We're going to have a band. We're going to have events for kids to do on the fairgrounds, and we're going to have a box lunch provided by one of the local restaurants. We're going to have a golf tournament at Raceburg Country Club, a 200th anniversary golf tournament. We'll have the fireworks over the July 4th weekend and a concert. We're going to have the Lebanon Town Militia at the Bryan House on July 16th. We're going to have an herb garden tour of the Stone Otis House on July 23rd. We're also going to bring back, by popular demand, the goats from up north, and they're going to be a goat hike. If you think about what's transpired over the last 50 years, 50 years ago, the only land that the town really owned was either the schools or the ball fields down at Old Tavern Road. We now have over 1,000 acres of open space. And what's entertaining about these goats is they love to eat poison ivy and other weeds. So it was very exciting and a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to that. We've got the volunteer fire department, the Firemen's Carnival, first week of August. We've got the Rotary Lobster Bake in July 13th. The Orange Land Trust is going to have a owl and falcon demonstration on July 20th. On July 27th, we're going to have crafters and blacksmiths at the Stone Otis House. We're going to have, in September, the St. Barbara's Greek Odyssey Festival. We're going to open up the time capsule. I think I know where it is. I think Jim knows where it is.
You know where it is.
And we're going to dig it up, and we're going to display what was put in the time capsule from 50 years ago at the country fair. We're also going to have a new time capsule for those of us who want to see what's in it 50 years from now. One of the things that one of the committee wanted to do was have a homecoming event, and we thought of having it at the country fair. And we bandied it around, and again, it's a committee that's very fluid, and we build on each other's thoughts. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a virtual homecoming. What Jeff Kapp, Mary Shaw, Paul Tarbox, Santo Galatiotto, the IT department, did I forget anybody, has come up with is firing up a YouTube site, and I'm going to give you that information in a second. And it will help us with getting out the publicity for all of these events on OGAT, this YouTube page, our website, local papers, school communications. And actually, the Facebook is up and running right now, and you could go to facebook.com/Orange CT Bicentennial, and you'll see the calendar events that I just said. And again, just to show you how fluid the committee is, somebody came up with the idea last week of having a beautification weekend. Judy, you might remember Mrs. Blakesley, the history teacher up at Amity. And she used to say, if everybody kept their front steps clean, the world would be a better place. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to try and clean up some of the stuff along the sides of the streets and along our parks and open space, ball fields, and the community center area. I think we're going to be inviting people to give us a hand from the Conservation Committee, the Land Trust, Scouts, to help us pick that stuff up. And that's briefly it. I went to the post office today and I talked to our new postmaster, and believe it or not, Mitch Goldblatt was president of the Orange Stamp Club back in 1972.
I've got plenty of envelopes still.
So I'm going to try and get a first day cancellation for the town of Orange. Just, my father would be very happy that I found that.
Yeah.
He was a big, this is on the website, the calendar of events. And you know what, I think the only thing that I forgot to mention was, Scavenger hunt. And I think there were things that Ginny was doing. But more to come.
We'll see you for more in March.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated. We'll probably have little splashes on our website, interviews, that type of thing, and we're moving forward. It's going to be different than it was 50 years ago. I did talk to a number of towns that just said we decided not to have any sort of celebration for their 100th, their 150th. I talked to one town that they didn't do anything for their 300th anniversary. So I think we're going to have a lot of fun. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Okay. Next item up is item number 3, presentation of the proposed playground. My agenda says Playground Committee, so I don't know who is speaking to it. Okay.
So set up for digital presentations. Just want to start off by saying congratulations and thank you for your service, Mr. Shanley. My name is Travis Ewan. I live at 403 Pruden Lane in Orange. Serving on our committee is Blair Pierce, Lynn Plaskowitz, Charles Flynn, Marissa Asarisi. She's not here today. Also with us is John Hollerbach. He is president of Creative Recreation. He's also one of the major designers of multiple municipal playgrounds in our area, some of the most popular ones, I should say. So it's great to have him on board. And so really the purpose, we're parents, we're grandparents on this committee, and really what we wanted, our goal was to create a destination playground of all ages and all abilities within the town. Currently, Marielle Tracy has limited hours that families can bring their children to, so this really was an opportunity to create a year-round playground for everyone. And given COVID and how kept inside people were, it's really going to be a nice amenity for our residents. And so where this playground is going to be located is within Fred Wolf Park. And it's really, at a nexus of activity that's currently going on there today. Part of our charge is to create a playground. One thing we won't be doing is including restrooms or lighting, things of that nature, splash pad. Those are some other desires mentioned by the town, but not really in the scope of our project and budget. And so just to back up on budget, there was a $300,000 steep grant that the town was awarded a couple of years ago or a year ago or so. And then Representative Mary Wielander reached out to our committee, and she was able to just December 21st, get $200,000 deep grant for us. So that's really helpful. We were working under the assumption that we were going to have to tighten our boots and sharpen our pencils to make it work, but this is really going to help realize that goal of a destination. So just getting into the location, if you've been to Fred Wolf Park, as you drive in on Hollow Road, there's an area that's been cleared, so the playground would generally be located in that area. If you turn, you can see a few photos of when it was initially cleared. And then if you keep going, you'll see a schematic of the playground itself. So the idea, the general design of the playground is to create a playground for multi different ages, especially for parents and grandparents to be able to walk around the perimeter, keep eyes on their children, get some exercise in while they're watching their children play. A lot of our playgrounds, such as the one at Eisenhower Park, it's very compartmentalized, but we really envisioned this as a way to keep your eyes on your kids the whole time and get out there for a stroll. There's also not a lot of sidewalks in Orange, so we see this as a place where people can bring their kids to learn on a balance bike and shoot around the outside. It's about a 600-foot loop, so a couple of laps around and you'll get a mile in. So, and then some other design highlights are, safety and security is providing code compliant fencing around the playground and access to it. We're also providing safety surfacing, also known as poured in place, underneath the fall zones of the playground equipment. We're also providing a certified mulch that will take up the other areas, as poured in place is fairly expensive. But with the additional grant money, we're able to expand those areas. So. And then just to highlight on some of the equipment that we've chosen, it really is based around play for multiple ages and multiple abilities. So whether a child has mobility issues, or whether a child has like sonic or other sensory type issues, we've tried to provide a variety of play options for them. And then what we're currently working on right now is the color combination. So some of the renderings, they show a more range of colors, but page 2 of more of a zoomed in rendering here kind of shows the color combination that we're looking to do, which is black and gold in honor of some Amity colors, and it's fairly muted and modern looking, so we wanted to keep it somewhat understated in that area. Just going along, I will get to some of the budget items. So some of the key budget items are, we have, let me back up. Right now, we're dealing with some serious lead times. I'm sure anybody that's trying to do any work on their house, equipment, or buy a car, it's very difficult to do that right now. So we're looking at like a 6-month lead time from signing the contract for purchasing the equipment to basically it being delivered on site. So we're hoping to make use of that time to prepare the site, do any kind of base work for pavements, etc. So we've broken out what the playground equipment would cost and its installation, as well as site work. Site work, knowing that some of that could fluctuate depending on volunteers helping out, and sort of if we can do a community build on some of these items, that or whether the town could supply labor and equipment for that. So we're also carrying a contingency on top of that, just so things like seating, trees, other types of costs that might not have come up in this during construction. So, and also Blair and Lynn have been kind of leading our fundraising, and we have a web page that people can donate to. When Denise Murdo passed, her family wished that people would donate towards the playground, so we've received $1,100 from them. We've also received an individual donation of $250, along with, on the website, you have the option to purchase benches or named bricks, things of that nature. So, the monetary value is $11,600, but, lumped into that as actual items that would go into the playground. So the next steps are really the purchase of the equipment we see as this kind of outstanding element that we'd like to get ahead of, knowing that the weather will be changing in 6 months, will be in August. So if we could make use of the late summer, early fall construction season, I think that would be great. And then really it's going to be finalizing our fundraising and installation.
Excellent. Questions for Travis?
So Travis, if I may, so ideally, if we approve this, how soon will contracts be signed? And you're looking at August, is that the ideal situation right now? If
That's ideal, and John can chime in too. As far as so the only outstanding items on our end is to finalize the grant paperwork, which is just that, having the right signatures on that, and so August, that gives us time to prepare the site, and then bring the equipment in for that time period, August, September. I think we would be in good position, even October, but we would want to have enough time to get seating and plans going.
do you envision the job causing any closure of the park for any other programs? Because I know that there's lacrosse, there's soccer, there's various different activities that take place at Fred Wolf Park. Do you envision any closures of those things, or it's just we're going to keep working around?
It's kind of separate on its own.
Okay.
Well, luckily in the area, there's plenty of room for staging for construction, so equipment could be kept off to the side, and kind of any temporary restraints that are needed, a contractor would have to do that. And
There's enough room there.
Yeah.
Where eventually those courts may go.
Yep.
That they can stockpile and stage. In the
Perfect.
meantime, we won't do that until this is completed. John, I didn't know if you would come up and talk a little bit to durability of the equipment and all. I had a couple people question me on it, and you're the expert on that part. So what have you found in the trade, just as far as the durability and all of the stuff?
Hi, I'm John Hollerbach with Creative Recreation. I've represented Miracle this is my 33rd year now. Fantastic U.S.-made company, and we're happy to be selected to provide playground equipment for your park at Wolf Park. The product is fantastic. It's very durable, comes with a lifetime warranty. As long as the playground is in the ground, all the support posts and all the fasteners are covered under that lifetime warranty. In the fine print, they define a lifetime as 100 years. So it is a substantial warranty. So any of the fasteners, if something were to break, that's covered. Any structural failure for the platforms and the posts, that would be covered. Some of the slides are made out of a rotationally molded plastic. If it gets really cold, as it does in some New England winters, and somebody decides to be kind of rough on the equipment, it could potentially crack or break. Occasionally we see that some of our inner city playgrounds where they just don't take the care of the equipment. But for the most part, the product is extremely durable and very easy to maintain. The fasteners themselves are, like I said, stainless steel, but they're also tamper resistant. So a person with an average tool set just can't go and start taking the playground apart. So,
Thank you.
Sure.
And you are a state bid list vendor, right?
yes, so
Yeah,
my
I thought so.
company does have a Connecticut DAS state contract, and we are a certified SBE business and recognized as a small business enterprise. So we're in that minority participation as well.
And say, remember, for us, that's important because they're able to circumvent our local bid process. The state has already done that. So for those at home that are wondering about that, that bidding process is done by the state of Connecticut for all communities in the state. So, any questions more for Mitch, Judy? Who's first?
I just have a quick question. Could you explain to me as you saw, the impact areas and stuff that, I forgot what you called it already,
Safety zones, fall zones.
yeah, could you just explain
That's
just
what's
what that
out
is?
Out back, the spongy areas.
Is that, but you're saying that is there anything else under the sponge? That's what I'm asking.
So there's two different types of surfacing that was proposed for the playground equipment. An engineered wood fiber, which is the inner cores of hardwood trees, and that material is a loose material, and that can be replenished over time as it kind of migrates and gets dispersed in the playground. The other product is referred to as a port-in-place product. That's a synthetic product that is unitary applied. It's hand troweled on the ground, and there's no seams on it. So a person with a mobility issues in maybe a wheelchair or a walker or cane, an elderly person, that surface is ideal for them to move across and move freely. So we've strategically utilized both surfaces to provide really access to not only all children, their ages and abilities, but also be mindful of the parents or the grandparents that are coming to the park that are looking after the children while they play.
And will that be part of the guarantee?
So those surface materials have their own warranties or guarantees, and those typically range between 10 and 15 years. 10 being for the synthetic product and 15-year warranty for the engineered wood fiber product.
And just so you know on that, the one out in back here, we've had no problems with that port-in-place areas, with the exception of where the lawnmowers clipped it in a couple spots. They scaffed it and they came and, whatever company came and repaired that. But other than that, we've had no problems with that port-in-place material out back, and that's probably 15 years probably already. So, yeah. So,
Sure.
Mitchell.
Thank you, John. Questions really for Travis, if you can come back up to the mic, if you can. First of all, thank you for the very complete presentation. Thank you to the committee for all the hard work they've put into this up to this point. I'm sure there's a lot more ahead. Couple quick questions. The overview that I'm holding up here site shows a number of trees. Now, the whole place has been clear cut. Does your budget include planting of trees in basically the areas that are being shown? Not exact, but
Yeah, so we're carrying the contingency right now of 17%. So we're hoping, without this inflationary, we can lock in the equipment at the price that it is, so that we have that money to put towards seeding and plant and trees.
okay. So the contingency is where you're planning to get that money from,
Exactly.
and probably the fundraising too, I imagine.
And part of fundraising too, and we've spoken with the tree committee too about tribute trees possibly, but that's a little bit longer term, obviously. So it would be a good location for that.
Okay, and then also looking at your cost estimate, it says site work. Does that site work include that whole perimeter sidewalk and
That's
all
right,
that? That's
it
all
does.
included in that?
That's included in that number. It includes the preparation of the base and the material to put down. And again, we're trying to give ourselves that contingency in case oil,
Something.
asphalt
Yep.
or concrete goes up considerably, so.
And then finally, your fundraising that's going on, it sounds like that's also going to be used for additional site work, whether it's trees, paying
Or
for the benches itself, and things
Exactly.
like that?
Yeah, so there's also one of the items that we want to utilize that's at Fred Wolf Park now, or there's tons of boulders. So we want to add kind of that natural element to the park. So we have zoned out in the park an area that will be a little bit more of a natural play area. It will still have the mulch surfacing under it, but it will feel hopefully more natural. Yeah.
Okay. And so you're continuing the fundraising still through the benches and the bricks, et cetera?
Exactly.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. There, motion made to support their efforts and
So
allow them
moved.
to proceed with this. I agree. They've done a great job, and I'm very happy with that. Motion is made. Is there a second to support this? Okay. Motion made. Shanley seconded. On this one, all in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Unanimous. Very good.
Awesome. Great job, guys.
All right, item number 4. I was watching poor Bob Sigler back there. He was on about 5 of the things that Patrick O'Sullivan read off. I go, oh, boy. To consider an act on request for the Lions Club to waive the customary rental fees for the use of the gym at High Plains Community Center for the annual Easter egg hunt. Lawrence?
Good evening, everyone. Mr. Zioli, members of the board, and congratulations, Mr. Shanley, on your appointment to the board. I'm sure you're going to do a wonderful job for the town of Orange. The Lions Club is hoping to have its 59th Easter egg hunt. We had sort of a watered-down version last year because of COVID, but I think we're going to move ahead with our traditional hunt, which includes the distribution of about 10,000 chocolate Easter eggs. We have a Easter bunny coming, a police car. We have face painting. We give out toys. It's a fun time. So we're going to request your blessing to move ahead with the Easter egg hunt. Also requesting that if there is a chance of rain, and in 58 years, it's only happened once where we had to use the gymnasium. We're asking if we would have a waiver of the use of the gymnasium just in case there is rain. The date is for April 9th, which is a Saturday, with a rain date of April 16th. So at least we have that one day for backup. But if for any reason the rain does shower us, would have to use the gymnasium. So would like to have that waived. At this point, if everything goes well, we'll have a fun time. We do have one problem. We need a person to put on the Easter Bunny outfit. I was wondering, is Mr. Shanley, since he's low man on the totem pole, is that the way that works?
Yeah.
Let the hazing begin.
But thank you very much for your time. I appreciate you putting me on the agenda.
Thank you.
And you're all welcome to come. You help us seed the field. There's only 10,000 eggs that we have to put out. So thank you very much.
Motion on the
I'd like to make a
Lions Club's
motion.
request.
Definitely.
Okay, all of you.
All right.
All motioned and seconded.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Unanimous. Item number 5 is to consider an act on request to hang a banner to promote the Strawberry Festival and waive the customary rental fees for the High Plains Community Center kitchen. Bob Sigler, Strawberry Festival, Rotary Club, Bicentennial Committee.
Water Pollution Control
Water
Authority.
Pollution Control, and probably 3 other things that we don't know.
Thank you very much. I'll add my congratulations as well to Selectman Shanley. Thank you very much for serving. Yes, my name is Bob Sigler, and tonight I'm representing the Orange Congregational Church, and I'm a co-chair for our Strawberry Festival, annual Strawberry Festival. This will be our 13th. June 11th, rain date of June 12th, and we're very proud, as Pat had mentioned earlier, to be a part of the Summer of Celebration, that our event is included in that. And although we won't have engraved wine glasses, since it is a church event, but we are hoping to do strawberry slushy cups with a bicentennial logo and so forth. So that's on our
Mitchell,
our
want
plate
half a dozen
too.
of those cups?
Yeah. So as the Lions were talking about, this year we are planning for a full festival as we've done in the past. We missed 2020, and last year was kind of a mini festival because we had a late start. But this year we are planning to do a full festival. Plenty of old-fashioned games, pie eating contest, magician. Al DeCant's going to be there. Hopefully we'll have hay rides. I think the festival itself kind of lends itself to a bicentennial flavor with those kinds of events. We'll bring our red car show back as well. And we'll also have plenty of vendors, we hope, at this point. A full menu this year that we kind of had a short menu last year. And we'll, God willing, we'll bring back our church-made pies and jams. which we weren't able to do last year. So as part of that, of course, we do like to hang our advertising banner over the road. This year, the Board of Trustees has asked me to see if we can get a waiver for using the kitchen during that time in consideration of the parking lot that's being used by the Mary L. Tracy staff. If you have any questions, hopefully we'll see everyone there, June 11th. Great time.
I was going to say, any questions for Mr.
Yep, any
Sigler? If
questions?
not, is there a motion? Motion's made. Okay, everybody seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Good.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Okay, to consider and act on dates for the annual town meeting and budget referendum. You have that in your packet. If there were no problems with those dates, we don't have to worry about announcing it all out there. Is there a motion to be made to accept these?
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, unanimous. Okay. Item number 7 is to consider and act on the request to approve the tax refunds totaling $462.41. Isn't that a change from what we usually have? Is there a motion to be made on that?
So moved.
All in favor? It's Mary Ralph. Oh, okay. All right. Unanimous. Committees, Pension Board Committee.
Pension Board meets next week, next Thursday. I'll have a report coming up after that.
Okay. Capital Planning. You or John, you're both there.
We're both here. John attended the Board of Finance meeting with myself and my committee last Friday, and we had quite a discussion over some of the amounts of the money and some possible funding sites other than the operating plan and capital plan. So it's up to them now. They'll make their decision sometime in the next couple months, and after that, it'll go into whatever they approve will go into the budget plan for the next year. So we had 26 items worth about $1.2 million, and we prioritized them, and that helped the Board of Finance make some decisions, I think, and so we'll see what happens.
Okay. With that said, that's all we have. The last thing is an executive session item. So there will be a motion to go into executive session to discuss this potential land purchase.
So moved.
John coming in on that? Okay, so in executive session with Finance Director Cifarelli in on that. And with that,
Motion to close?
motion. Yeah, he's working over here. Yeah, he can stay.
It's your call.
That's fine. With that, motion made to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so I won't be like Tom early and say, hey, get out. Okay. I think we're good. I see the light is on. Okay, we are back in from executive session at 8:15. We had discussion regarding a parcel owned by Eloise Clark Treat on Tyler City Road. And it is approximately 7 acres in size and has been offered to the community for purchase at a value of $175,000, which is within our allowance for the Board of Selectmen to make a motion to purchase and recommend to the Board of Finance. So with that said, is there a motion to be made on this?
I'll make a motion that we approve the purchase of a piece of property owned by Eloise Clark Treat for $175,000.
Yeah, do it again.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay, that's.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? Unanimous. With that said,
Right, it's PJ's, he gets to adjourn. Which is right.
okay, it is 8:15. Turn on your microphone, please. I've been told.
Sincere thank you to everybody again. A little more collected now, so I really appreciate all the kind words. And Jim, thank you very much again. But I make a motion to adjourn at this point.
Woo-hoo, second.
We are adjourned at 8:15.